So this is the KhoodeelaarTV television channel, Baby Angel Geronimo editions. And this is timed at 2100 hours GMT on Thursday, 2nd of February 2023. Now, one of the things that has been trending during the day in the UK anyway, one of the things has been, of course, the name Jeremy Corbyn. And it is obviously fueled by people who still believe that Corbyn was the best leader of the Labour Party. The facts don't support that. And our campaign has always said, right from the beginning, that Corbyn was unfit for purpose. Now, Corbyn has had all kinds of claims about his achievements as leader of the Labour Party, like he increased the membership and he increased the kind of interest shown by younger people in politics and so on, which might be true. But essentially, when it came to making key decisions about policy that affects the whole society and also has impacts on the world, Corbyn didn't have the clue. Corbyn, even today during the trending, has been doing the trending based on his affiliation to the school of political slaves that are enslaved by the crooks controlling the bigger aspects of the trade unions, bureaucracies in the UK. So Corbyn is not an independent thinker, never has been. I observe Corbyn as a member of the public, as a member of the audience, if you like, for at least 30 years, if not longer. And I have found Corbyn absolutely clueless. And also, he's not able to kind of think on his feet. For example, the 3 or 4 occasions that I think David Cameron insulted him personally, Cameron speaking from the platform as the Prime Minister's question time, Corbyn failed to rebut, let alone reject, let alone expose and condemn Cameron's really immoral attacks on him. Now, I'm saying that Corbyn failed, and I'm saying that Cameron had attacked Corbyn immorally. But did Corbyn understand the immorality of Cameron's attacks? People who have posted things in support, in praise of Corbyn, have said that the fact that Corbyn didn't lower himself to the level of Cameron showed Corbyn morally superior to Cameron. Now, that is their opinion, and I'm not going to quibble on that. The point is that before the entire audience that actually is tuned into or normally tunes into the PMQ's platform, Corbyn came across as non-existent at those moments. One of the biggest things that Corbyn supporters have claimed is that he is an anti-racist. But when Cameron attacked him for going over to France to meet the asylum seekers, etc., Corbyn failed to put Cameron in his place. For example, Corbyn could have done what I would have done would be to ask Cameron the counter questions about all these treaties, declarations, charters, agreements that the United Kingdom was signed up to at that time as Cameron spoke. And incidentally, the UK remains signed up to even now when I'm speaking on the 2nd of February 2023. If Corbyn had done that, Corbyn indeed would have come across as a morally superior person and an intellectually capable individual, which he didn't come across as, because he effectively completely absented himself from that interaction. Then Cameron talked about the advice that Cameron's mother gave or would have given Corbyn about wearing a proper suit. Now, Corbyn should have said, instead of being defensive, he should have said that I'm in solidarity with the millions of people in Britain who cannot afford suits. And I'm showing that I'm with them and against Cameron. How devastating would that have been? Now, today, the deputy governor, I think, of the Bank of England, deputy governor of the Bank of England, is doing the trend or doing the political kind of lineup in the Guardian, I've noticed, saying that the Bank of England's assessment, the Bank of impact of Brexit on the UK economy has not changed. And he has used the term negative. Let's see. Let's check if we can find the piece with the deputy governor of the Bank of England. See if we can find the. So there is one piece about the rate of interest rate raised to 4% by the Bank of England. There should be a related piece. All right, now this is the this is the piece that has references to the impact of Brexit, but there are several pieces running. This is uh, this is not the one uh, that I was thinking about. Let's see if I can locate that article that I referred to earlier. And the Financial Times is saying the same thing that well, let's say there is a lot of similar, identical pieces about Brexit and the UK economy. This one is about Brexit contributing to a surge in food prices as the country heads into recession. A senior Bank of England policymaker has warned, and it sounds like an Indian name, Shoti Dingra, the newest member of the bank's Monetary Policy Committee, which sets interest rates, also used an interview with the Observer to suggest that the coming run of central bank rate rises should peak below 4.5%, which is the level that some city investors are expecting. The market is probably underestimating what damage that level of interest rates might cause to the economy, she said. Ingra maintains that further aggressive moves to raise the cost of borrowing from the current level of 3% would risk exacerbating Britain's economic downturn. The Monetary Policy Committee will make its next decision on interest rates on 15th of December after imposing 8 successive rises in a year to control inflation. Dhingra said, "That is what I think we should all be worried about. Are we going to end up deepening, lengthening and deepening the recession of the if the tightening continues at the pace it is?" The trade expert at the London School of Economics, who repeatedly warned about the damage arising from Brexit before joining the bank in August, said there were clear signs leaving the EU was adding to soaring prices and weighing down the economy. People need to be aware of what the economic cost is, she said. Now, for years, for a long time, that is, many times these expressions of alarm and warning were published. Yet Corbyn stayed completely quiet, silent about Brexit. And Corbyn is still silent, even up to this day, today, about Brexit. If he had the morality and if he had the courage, he should have said he supported Brexit, which he did. But he didn't have the courage and he didn't have the morality. So those people who say that he is the best leader and all the other things are completely irresponsible. They haven't got the evidence to make any such claim. Now, as I have said before, not today, but before I've said that I observed more than one, let's say, because I haven't got the list of the actual number of events that I did attend at the venue in Bethnal Green in Tower Hamlets, where the SWP wonkers and other left-wing criminals pretended to be holding some discussions about solidarizing with Palestine. Now, let's say definitively that the United Kingdom so-called left-wing solidarity expressions are not genuine solidarity with the Palestinians whatsoever. These are what the French would call the ozone provocateurs. Ozone provocateurs, pretending to be supporters of Palestine, are actually a diversionary army, diverting attention away from the actual opposition that should have and could have been made against the violations and occupations and attacks on the Palestinians. This is what they've been doing for 70 years. The same thing they did in the case of India. The Indian National Congress was equally supported by the kind of so-called left in Britain. And what they did was to leave India exposed as it is and it has been as it remains, and it is getting worse by the day, to the worst elements: fascism, communalism, anti-Muslim. Now, if you look at the Western European countries and count the numbers of people that are living in the Western European countries, let's say, including Germany, Sweden, France, United Kingdom, the people combined population of Pakistan and Bangladesh and add the Muslims in India and in Kashmir, you'd find that the people, number of Muslims totaling would exceed the number of people, total population of Western Europe. So how the fuck do they call the Muslims minority in India? Muslims are not minority. They should not use Muslim and minority together. They should just say Muslim, so that the equation becomes more equal. But again, with the case of the subcontinent, Corbyn and the Labour Party completely dead, politically dead. And so anyone who is contributing to the slogan that Corbyn would have made a big deal is obviously thinking about some other In the UK, of course, we consider Starmer as the political martyr of the Labour Party. So when we condemn Corbyn, we don't endorse confused. The Labour Party currently and has been for a very long time without leadership. And this week's revival or publishing by the Daily Mirror of Neil Kinnock's speech 40 years ago is an idiocy beyond condemnation, because Kinnock was as stupid as Corbyn has been. So the Labour Party has been without leadership for decades. And as I experienced the leadership of Michael Foot, I mean, Foot didn't exist. He was a prisoner of all kinds of elements, including a group of American agents who took over his security, which is why they barred me from approaching Foot and talking to him near the Charing Cross, Trafalgar Square. Going over to the question of the latest private eye, which is out tomorrow officially, their piece about David Aranovich having been sacked by the current editor of the Times, Murdoch Times, Gallagher, appears to be probably a bit misleading because Aranovich has got a piece in the usual column, in the usual spot today, Thursday, the 2nd of February 2023. This is in the new edition of Private Eye that we shall be discussing in later editions. As for the announcement by Rishi Sunak that he is going to make a new law, pass a new law, allegedly, apparently to prevent migrants and asylum seekers crossing the channel and otherwise arriving in the UK. Let's say this one. Sunak needs Suella Cruella Braverman at the Home Office. Because if she is ousted, then Sunak's deal with Narendra Modi would become a heated topic. And that would mean that Sunak's plot to bring in about few 100,000 Indians under the cover of student will collapse. That is the real purpose. And Sunak is not talking about that. Sunak is diverting attention and kind of appeasing Suella Braverman by making these stupid gestures about the channel. As the Fleet Street political observers have begun to recognize, Rishi Sunak is not really original. He is a fake. And many have said that he is an ape to the dogmas Boris Johnson himself. And there is, of course, talk about Liz Truss staging a comeback. Now, Liz Truss would not dare let on that she is going to stage a comeback if she knew that the evidence didn't exist. But she knows that the evidence exists because Sunak is faltering. Because with the Dominic Raab thing, the main assertion is that Sunak had known for years that Dominic Raab was a bully, that he was harassing staff, and so on. Now, I was not in the cabinet, but I knew that there were widespread allegations against Dominic Raab being a bully. How did I know that? Because they are all in the media. So how on earth could Rishi Sunak even begin to pretend that he had not heard? The allegation against Sunak is that he promoted Dominic Raab despite knowing for years that Raab was a bully. That there were multiple victims of his bullying that had already filed complaints at various levels through various existing, useless but existing channels. So Sunak is weak by all accounts. And Sunak's weakness has been noticed of all people by Liz Truss, who is now very hungry to come back. Now, she may be kind of now competing with Boris Johnson. Both of them want to come back to number 10 Downing Street. And the fact that either of them is even being talked about as a potential returnee to number 10 Downing Street proves that Sunak has failed already. We shall talk more about it another time, about this spiel that the crook, the evilness Pierce Moron is spreading about his interview with Sunak about the so called completion of the first 100 days that Sunak is marking. Although he's denying that he's marking 100 days, he says they should be judged based on his 1,000 days, which will be near at the next election. Whatever it is, the setting is actually ready for Sunak to be subjected to the ouster process. And those who support Keir Starmer are mistakenly reading into that the possibility that Starmer is going to be the next prime minister. It may look like that to them, but it may not turn out to be like that at all. We shall be, of course, talking about all the other items, and we shall be doing the updates. But before concluding this one, let's say that all the evidence that I have referred to is evidence that has been witnessed by baby angel Geronimo, the world's most authentic, reliable, perfect baby angel Geronimo, the witness of the evilness, the depravity of the United Kingdom state, United Kingdom Parliament, United Kingdom politicos, United Kingdom media, United Kingdom judiciary, especially the three criminals who sat successively as rubber stamp stooges against the baby angel Geronimo in the High Court, are, how shall I put it, as bad as the Indian Supreme Court or Indian Superior Court judges. Why is the relationship there? Because the Indian Supreme Court has been doing what it does most frequently. I don't want to say does best, because nothing the Supreme Court does has ever been found to be best. The Supreme Court in India, numerically, is the world's most corrupt collection of judicial kind of bureaucracy, bureaucrats, careerists. Because of the numbers, there are so many thousands and thousands of licensed law traders, and the judiciary at every stage, including the so called Supreme Court, is corrupt, criminal, anti Muslim, anti law. And the baby angel Geronimo can be relied on to include in his evidence all these things that he is witnessing as an extension of the observatory that he occupies in the UK. The observatory allows him the reach up to India and beyond, where the British corrupt judiciary, criminal judiciary, rubber stamping judiciary is the most stinkingly present in India. Like these judges who acted for as the rubber stampers for the DEFRA criminals, in India, all the judiciary, judicial machinations and excuses are confected, scripted to suit the agenda dictated by Narendra Modi and his regime. This brings us back to the BBC so-called documentary about Narendra Modi, the Modi question. The BBC has left out all of these, as has the financial crimes. And Bibi Angel Geronimo knows why they have left out all of this, because if they didn't leave them out and if they left them in, they would have to admit that DEFRA was lying. And as DEFRA was lying, the judges were lying, the lawyers were lying. Even those lawyers, the so called legal kind of licensed law traders, who apparently appeared before the three successive High Court judges, allegedly to defend the reputation of Baby Angel Geronimo, were themselves stooges of the system. So we shall be updating on Baby Angel Geronimo and his knowledge and his evidence. And he's the bestest angel, Baby Angel Geronimo, in the whole world. Along with all the baby angels, the kittens and the other victims of the many so-called charitable organizations, the animal charities that, including the RSPCA, regularly do severe damage to baby angels right across the country. We shall be talking about those, and we shall bring into the focus under the main banner of the Baby Angel Geronimo editions all these atrocities and denials and injustices and cruelties that take place in this country. So we are ending this particular edition, part A, after 32 minutes and 40 seconds at 21:31 hours GMT.